White shirts on the pitch, running fast through the night. Every heart beating loud under floodlit sky bright. So to London, stand strong, in the stands they belong. Voices echo like thunder, to the club they sing along. Up in Spurs we arise, eyes on the prize. Victory in sight with all our might. King's fire in his eyes, glory's what he seeks. With every goal he flies, rising to new peaks. From the lane to far and wide, with the pride of the fight. On this journey we'll ride, with our passion burning bright. Up in Spurs we arise, eyes on the prize. Victory in sight with all our might. The pride of the fight. On this journey we'll ride, with our passion burning bright. Up in Spurs we arise, eyes on the prize. Victory in sight with all our might. With all our might. With all our might.
Boom. Hello. Oh, no, hang on a minute. Hang on. This is that. Nah, that. There's a bit of a takeover happening here. Ain't gonna happen. I have to crack the whip now. I'm sorry. That's you. You're putting the hard labor for 10 years now, Kev. That's it. North Korean style. That's it. You're found guilty even before a trial. Hello to any North Korean fans that are watching us. Didn't really mean that, but hello. Yes. We are not Donald Trump. Anyway, on that bombshell. Oh dear. Do you know? You're right. You got a problem. You're all right, there, Gov.
I'm moving us on to business from getting in trouble with North Korea. There's a QR code
if you're
above there.
from North Korea, do follow us on Matchday Magic and pick up. You have plenty of fun over there, believe me. That's where we're sending Kev for the next 5 years to Matchday Magic. He's doing all the shows over there. Oh, I did my first show the other night. I was so nervous doing it. I was doing the tactical show, right? And it's a whole new system over there. It's completely different from YouTube. So you got to learn how to do the graphics and how to do the teams. And I was doing a bad impersonation of Gary Neville. I mean, I will get better at it. We definitely will get better at it. But welcome to HFC to Live. Welcome to myself, Dermot, aka Dermatron. I haven't been here before. And my sidekick, of course, Kev, the Rolling Rat, Kevin. He is best mates with Rolling Rat. He's going to lurk around somewhere in the background. He's going to call, go, hello. Yeah. Kev, how are you? You've sent me your Man United squad. Let's get this under the way. Let's just get this out of the way first. That looks a cracking squad to go away to play Real Sociedad. I mean, you got that game gone. I mean, that game's, you're winning that 5-0. I mean, what's wrong with that squad for you, Kev? I mean, you've said to me we're knackered. I can't say any problems with that. You've got decent players there.
Yeah. So we got Onana, can't save a goal. Onana, can't save a goal. Save a goal. Save a goal. Then we've got the Bluffers Paradise of Lindelof, who's likely going to start in central defence. Like, to be fair, I can't say anything about poor old Amos, Haven, Diego, Yoro, Mazraoui or Dorgu, but the Ligt is going to have a long game. Actually, would you mind dipping off the scroller just for a second, though?
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, the scroller.
Oh, sorry. No, that's on that. I can't scroll it. That's on the PDF.
No, I'm talking about the score at the bottom.
Oh,
These like
sorry. Yeah, sorry. There you go.
so
Oh, yeah.
Casemiro, he's got his Zimmer frame out. I do not fancy seeing him starting in central midfield. Collier again, he's a kid. Ericsson, bless his heart, literally bless his heart, because
Bless his heart.
he's going to be under severe pressure. Let's see, Bruno, we know what we're getting there. And then we've got poor old Garnacho behind. Can't score a goal. Hoyland and can't score a goal. Xerxes. So it's going to be a long, long night for us. I do not see how we're going to progress in this and probably be done with anything significant in this season by the end of tomorrow night.
I shouldn't laugh really because you and Colin are in pain. I shouldn't really laugh, but it is kind of funny. It is kind of funny. Look, we're both in the same predicament, aren't we? Both clubs. Europe is our only, way of winning something. Look, you look at tomorrow night's games.
Yeah.
How are you expecting tomorrow night's game? Your side of the draw. Look, I bring up our side of the draw first. I mean, this is our side of the draw. We have got. Let me take that off again. It's of course Frankfurt are on our side of the draw with Ajax. Let's go on our side of the draw first. Look, we should beat AZ Alkmaar. To be fair, that should be.
Yeah.
So, do you think we might? I think we might get Frankfurt in the quarterfinals, and I think that's a winnable game for us as well.
I think either of them are, because we saw it happen last night to Dutch opposition at the hands of Arsenal.
Yeah. I would love to get that result tomorrow night. I would love to get that 7-1 win. I mean, they were poor. PSV were really poor last night. So, I mean, look, the both Dutch sides. Do you think that'd be? Look, you look at Frankfurt, and you look at Ajax. What do you reckon that score will be tomorrow night?
Well, Frankfurt are German.
The first leg, and then the Frankfurt win on the home leg, I think.
Yeah. Frankfurt are German, just to point that out, they're not Dutch.
Yeah, I know, but Ajax Dutch.
Oh, yeah. I'd expect, I expect you to be coming through maybe 3 or 4-0 tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see where AZ would have the quality to deal with you. As for the Frankfurt game, Ajax have been a funny old fish this year. They've sacked the replacement for Erik ten Hag. They've had so many problems, and I think even they sacked the replacement of ten Hag at this stage. But they're not in a good place, and I think the Germans will just probably have just a little too much nous for them. So I expect, it's in Ajax, so that's a tough arena to go to. I've actually went to a game there. I reckon Frankfurt would be happy enough to come out of it either a draw or 1-up, and then beat them at home.
Yeah, well, we went there and got a glorious Euro Champions League final that night. That was a lovely, lovely night. That was to reach that final. It really was. But I just thought that game, because your side of the draw, it's not easy either, is it? I mean, you've got Rangers your side of the draw. You've got a few big teams your side of the draw. Who do you expect to get to the final out of your side of the draw? I expect us to get to the final. To be fair, that's what I'm saying. I think we will get to the final. We'll probably play Lazio in the semi-final, by the way. But who do you think will get to your final, your side of the draw?
Honestly, it won't be us. I expect us to be gone after the Sociedad game. As much as it pains me to say that, I have no confidence in us getting a result against anyone for the rest of the season, let alone one of the best teams in Spain. Rangers, let's be fair, they're not good. They got absolutely obliterated. Was it in the Scottish Cup? I can't remember whatever their last game was. They got absolutely mullered. Sociedad are probably a close shot. I'm just trying to see who else is actually on our side of the draw. Europa League draw. pardon us there now, dear viewers, for not having the full Europa League draw at our fingertips.
No, I'm getting it up here now. I'm getting it here now.
Roma are there.
Just my, yeah.
Leon are there. Like, there's no easy games there, really.
No. Right, I've got it here. I'm going to bring it up now for you, lads. We're going to share this screen, and hopefully this will work. Let's see now. How did that come up? Okay. I don't know if you lads can see that. Oh, sorry, wrong way. There you go. So there we go. So you got Fenerbahce, so let's go for the top one. Okay, the top four, say you got Fenerbahce, Rangers, Roma, Athletic Club. So that's the first sort of bit on that side. On our side, of course, we will get either Ajax or Frankfurt in the semi-final. Then if you go down to the middle bit, you've got FC, SB or Lyon. Of course, they would then play the winners of Man United, Real Sociedad. Lazio, I think, should actually get to the semi-final. They've got a really easy run to the semi-final, to be fair. Where are you expecting your side? I reckon it'd be a Lyon, Real Sociedad semi-final, to be fair. That's my opinion.
That'd be a quarterfinal, because they'd be...
Quarterfinal, that's what I mean, sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I'd agree with that. And I think then Roma and Fener.
Yeah. What do you reckon for Lazio and that side? Do you reckon be a Lazio Olympiacos semi-quarterfinal?
Lazio are going to all the way to the semis. I don't see anyone beating them from that lower end.
No. And then when you look up here, Fenerbahce, Rangers, Roma, Athletic. Do you know what? I think Rangers could get to a quarterfinal, you know. I think they could do a job against Mourinho.
Fener are good though. They have some tasty players. So and a manager of the caliber of Jose Mourinho against, isn't it? What's his face? He's got the gig
Barry
at the end of the
Ferguson.
season. Barry Ferguson.
Yeah.
I don't see him having the tactical advantage there at all whatsoever.
Well, I'm just going for a massive upset. And Roma and Athletic Club. What do you reckon? I'd go for a Roma.
It's a tough call because Athletic are a decent side, but I think Roma, you'd have to fancy Roma. And then in terms of that quarter final, you'd have to fancy Roma again.
Yeah. And it's quite funny, Jose Mourinho, the last three teams he's managed are still in the competition. Tottenham, Roma and Manchester United.
Yeah, that's very true.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Fenerbahce got to the final, to be fair. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Fenerbahce got to the final.
And beat Spurs?
I reckon it could be a Spurs. I reckon it could be a Spurs Fenerbahce final. Look, I would love an all Premier League final. Don't get me wrong. I would love Tottenham playing Man United because we just wiped the arse of you. You know we own Manchester. You do know that. We own the red side of Manchester. It belongs to us. Column's going to send me a horse's head in a minute for saying that. But
he's behind you, by the way.
Huh?
Sir Alex Ferguson's behind you.
Is he? Hello, Mr. Fergie. Fuck off. But look, if you look at Lazio, out of all that sort of 14 groups, Lazio really have the easiest ties, don't they? How jammy can you get to get that sort of the way? Did they finish higher in the table? Actually, that would be a point to look. I just want to know where they finished in the table because you see, finish top, you get the easiest group, don't you?
Yeah.
You see, we finished fourth. I'm surprised you got the draw you got by finishing above us in the league.
I think Sociedad probably underachieved if you flick down to where they are.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, they did poorly.
They really underachieved.
So I think that's where that's coming from.
Yeah, and also Galatasaray, so I went out in the playoff round as well. So, but look, it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. It is this week and next week, guys. So tomorrow we do start with of course tomorrow. If I can just go down there, if it will work for me. Anyway, we do start tomorrow with this tie. A few people have come in, so we'll just welcome a few people coming to chat. Big up to We Are Spurs TV. I work for a global hand tool company that has 3.5 billion last quarter. My yearly employee appreciate you get to us a 6-pack of locally made soda, which I can't drink due to my gout. I don't know what to say to that. Big up to your company, but that is a bad appreciation gift. What do you reckon, Kev? Look, Kev's already sending in a letter of complaint to your company already. He's already had it. What do you reckon to that, Kev? I mean, that is bad, actually.
That's basically somebody made a bulk order and just didn't consider whether there's a diabetic or whether there's something or whatever sitting there.
I know. If I was you, We Are Spurs TV, sell it at the highest order. Big up to David Clark. Big up David says hi to everyone in chat. Big up David says, I see the great Harry Kane scored again. He did. Look, he is available in the summer for 67 million euro. I'd buy him back. He's only coming back to Tottenham, by the way. He wouldn't go to Man United and he wouldn't go to Arsenal. Why would you, right? Oh, and I love these Arsenal fans. Some of them think Harry Kane's coming to them in the summer, right? And you're thinking, our all-time top goal scorer is gonna go to you lot because you think you're bigger. Not hell's chance is that gonna happen. Either he stays in Bayern Munich or he comes back to Tottenham. Because I think I got a question for you, Kev. Bayern Munich are going in for Sonny this summer. So do you think to keep Sonny, Tottenham might actually go to Bayern Munich? Hang on a minute. You owe us 30 million euro, right? We give you 37 million euro and we get Harry Kane back.
I'll be honest with you. If they really do go in for Sonny, nobody's getting Harry Kane back. Because I think he'll want to play with his buddy Sonny.
Yeah.
If Son goes to Munich, there's only one place Harry Kane's playing next season, and that's in Germany.
It's Munich. So do you think Tottenham, to keep Sonny happy, will have to go back in to get Harry Kane back again? If they want to save off this Bayern Munich bid?
Do you know, it's an interesting one because it depends on how badly they want to kind of hold on to him. Because next season, after you've gone through the whole season, how much is he actually going to be worth? Because he's going to be that year older.
Yeah.
He's declining slowly. You're seeing his input in goals this season is not as much as it was in previous seasons. So you have to say that it might make sense to take a few pounds for him and invest in some young talent, because I suppose it's something that Fergie did very well in his initial years at Manchester United. He kind of started upcycling his roster. If he thought he could get another year out of you, you got a 1-year deal and you played on. But if you thought it was time to maybe harvest on the value that was still remaining, you moved on, and some kid like Ruud van Nistelrooy was brought in at the time.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you. I do agree with you. Look, I think Harry Kane's going to win his trophies this year, and that's what he wants, to win something. And I think once he wins something, I think then the only thing on his wish list is to win something with Spurs. And if we got a decent manager with the team we've got and a decent manager, bring him in. He's one of the final, fits into that jigsaw. We could be thereabouts next season. So I think it'd be a very interesting one to watch, especially if we get Qatari takeover as well. Which
what about the old
could
adage,
happen.
though? You should never go back.
No, that's true. That's true. That's true. That is so true. Big up to David Clark. Said Liverpool just gone behind. Yay! But he says breaking news: PSG goal cancelled out, so it's back to 0-0.
Ooh.
Big up to Mr. John Fitzpatrick. Big up Dermot and Colin, my Irish brothers. Big up to you, John Fitzpatrick. How you doing?
Right, is Colin here somewhere?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi,
Mystery
John.
guest number 2.
I'm yet another Irish person that is not a Tottenham fan doing Tottenham-related content. The name's Rebel. How are you doing?
Yeah, they got so bored of Man United, they've decided to come onto this channel. We decided to join a better club. Oh, dude. Big up, Mr. Fitzpatrick. Hope you're doing well in Limerick there, and you're keeping safe and well. Big up to you, sir. Well, let's go through this. We are playing the best of Dutch tomorrow night. We are playing AZ Alkmaar in the Europa League round of 16 at the AFAS Stadium, 6 o'clock. It is a 6:45 kickoff in Dutchland. It is a 5:45 kickoff here in the UK and Ireland, which I think is absolutely disgusting. It should be 7:45 or 8 o'clock. That is fine. It really mucks up my day. There's 5:45 kickoff. Absolutely ridiculous. These are the players that are out. Of course, Davis is out with a knock. Should be back for, I think, before, just after the international break. We've got Kula out with a foot. Richarlison out with a calf injury. And, of course, Rudu's out to the start of next season. And these are the 4 players that are all ineligible for the Europa League. We've got Fraser Foster. We've got Kinski. We've got that Spaniard player who name forget it goes over my head. What's his name?
Is that Reguilon?
Reguilon, that's it. And we've got Timo Werner, all illegible. They cannot play. I don't know. Would they get a medal if we win the competition because they've already played in it?
I think it'd be at the discretion of. It'd be at your discretion if you wanted to make an additional medal, but they wouldn't be entitled by automatic. Because I think it's the squad. Only the squad is entitled automatically.
Yeah, it is. Of course, we did play them before earlier in the competition back in October. We did beat them 1-0. Richie with the goal. God, it seems so long ago, and that was game week 3. Of course, these are our next 6 fixture guys. After the game tomorrow, we've got Bournemouth at home, we've got Alkmaar at home, we've got Fulham away, we've got Chelsea away, and we've got Southampton at home. So let's give what do you reckon we're going to get out of them next sort of 5 games? Let's start with Bournemouth. Let's start tomorrow night with Alkmaar. Do you reckon we'll get a result there?
Sorry, I do have a bit of breaking news from the Barcelona game. There has been a red card, Jeff. A red card for Kurabasi.
Wow.
Straight red. He's gone. The 18-year-old has been given his marching orders.
That's a big. Who Barcelona got tonight?
Benfica.
Do you know what? I'm surprised. The likes of I was watching the Real Madrid game last night, and Real Madrid will always get to a final for me. Barcelona have really gone off the board, haven't they?
They're a bit of a yo-yo club because, as you know, they have had their financial problems, same as us. They only got Danny Almo registered in January, and actually he had to be hooked to restore the balance in the back line. So Danny Almo's not having the greatest of times in the commencement of his career. But let's be fair about it. Their Brazilian winger that they brought in initially looked like he was going to be a disaster, and now he's the captain of Barcelona. So anything can happen, really.
It can. Anything can happen in football. It is a funny old game. Let's go through the next 6 games here, Kev. We've got Alkmaar. So what's the score going to be tomorrow night for Alkmaar against Alkmaar?
So you're playing them in Alkmaar. I'd say you'd be quite happy to come out of it with a 2 or 3 goal lead. 2-0, I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I went for 2-0. That's my prediction. Then we've got Bournemouth on Sunday. What do you reckon?
Tricky fixture. Could be a temptation to rest players because of the fact that you might not quite be done with Alkmaar. If you have got the contest wrapped up, it'll be a full-strength team, I'd imagine. But I think Bournemouth are going to knock a draw off you, just because you're not going to be that interested in the 3 points, and you're going to have an eye on making sure you progress if there is any semblance of the fact that the contest on Thursday night is still in the balance. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I look, I'm going for a 2-0 win. I'm going to agree with you for tomorrow night. I think for Sunday, I'm going for a 2-1 win. I think we're going to win that. I think the replay in the 13th. I think again 3 days later. No, is it 3 days later?
4.
4 days later. I'm going for a 2-0 Spurs win at home. So 4-0 altogether.
Yeah, that's fair. You'll definitely finish them off. Maybe there might be a token concession goal at the end, depending on what way the players kind of stay switched on. Then you have a very difficult game on Patrick's weekend against the Fulham, a team that are not going to be short of confidence. And actually, it's a double London derby situation actually in the next 2 games, even though you do have an international break sitting in between. Like, there's no easy points in London derbies, especially away from home. And again, with the fact that the Premier League might be slipping down the priority list in favour of trying to win this Europa League and get an automatic invite into Champions League, I wouldn't be surprised to see Spurs dropping points in one, if not both of those games.
Ooh, so what are you going for both then?
I'm going to say 2-1 win maybe against Fulham, but I reckon Chelsea's head and your head. Actually, what am I saying? It's the big London derby. It's probably going to be a 1-1 draw between Chelsea and Spurs.
Do you know what? I fancy us to get something at Fulham. Though Fulham have played well this season, to be fair. I did watch them play against you, and Marco Silva has them playing really well and well organised. So, look, I'd be happy with a point there. Look, I want us always to beat Chelsea. Cannot stand Chelsea. Don't like the football club. Don't like the fans. Hate everything about Chelsea. They should be knocked. They should be banned from the Premier League. Put out of existence. Them and Millwall. Both teams should be just put into non-league football. Leave them there. But look, I'm going for a 1-0 Spurs win. I know we don't really win often at Stamford Bridge, but I'm going for a 1-0 win. Look, Southampton then 3 days later.
Southampton an absolute muck.
Yeah, so we get 3 points there. I'm going for a 4-0 win there, or 5-0 win against Southampton.
It mightn't reach that much, but I reckon definitely by 3.
Yeah. But it does look. I want to talk a little bit about as well. We've got the international break coming up. We're going to talk about that because I'm going to go through the Tottenham team in a minute. And there's a certain individual that I think we need to talk about. And I don't think he should be going to Argentina. But a lot of fans have no problem with it. I do. But we will get there. This big up to David said, if Spurs win the Europa League, then it would be a record because we'll be the first team to win a trophy with an average shots of conceding of 18 in 90 minutes. LOL. That's shocking. That really is shocking, to be fair. That is really shocking. What do you put that down to?
Well, that was us last season. Our goal used to be getting peppered, and it was only that people were saving our heinies kind of with last-ditch defensive maneuvers. But we used to be giving up 19, I think, shots a game there at one stage in the end of the beleaguered Ten Hag era. I put it down to basically the fact that you have no setback for, number one, due to all the injuries. You're forcing to put square pegs into round holes in terms of the personnel you're deploying in certain parts of the spine of your defense. You were missing your top goalkeeper for a considerable amount of time, which again probably left you with even less confidence in the fact that the players in front of him weren't comfortable with playing him because they were playing in the wrong positions. He was uncomfortable with the players that he was seeing in front of him because even in training, he had the reserve centre-backs in front of him. So all in all, it was kind of a formula for a disaster because you can't expect a team to function properly and effectively if the players that are playing in their positions aren't either naturally gifted at that position or have been trained over a considerable amount of time to play that position. And that's not the case with Spurs. They were thrown in a young fella into centre back that never played there in his entire life. And let's be fair about it, he's kind of gone about his business. He hasn't complained, but we know he's not a centre back.
No, but he's got young player of the year because of
Yeah.
it. And he's done very well there, to be fair. And he's really exceeded anyone's expectation of what he could do in that position. So Archie Gray, for me, I think he's been the find of the season. Him and Bergville, I think they've both been absolutely outstanding. But big up to Archie Gray for winning that Young Player of the Year. I'm really pleased for him for that.
Absolutely, yeah. Fair play to the kid.
I'm really over the moon for that. And we've got a lot of good young players at Tottenham at the moment that were coming through, likes of Dean Scarlett. We've got Mikey Moore. We've got Archie Gray. We've got Bergville. We've got that young defender coming in the summer as well. Vicevic as well coming in the summer. Who's pulling up trees at the moment in the Belgium league, I think. He's absolutely playing. We've got that young Yok player from South Korea who's pulling up trees for QPR as well. So we have a really good young squad that could start next season on fire. We could be a team to watch next season. It just depends if Ange is there or we get another manager to come in that knows how to work with young players. It also depends as well if we get new owners before the start of the transfer window in the summer. Do the Qataris take over, which I'm hearing, I'm hearing news every day about it, and I'm getting more and more excited because something is going to happen. We're looking at probably a month away for what I've been told, that there could be an announcement. So we're looking at probably March, April time before an announcement is made that Spurs have been sold or the Qataris have bought a big stake in Tottenham. Now, if you're looking at it from a financial point of view, you're not going to go after Daniel Levy shares, because what's the point of buying a small percentage of the club? You're going to go after the Enoch shares. And then what would you do with Daniel Levy now if this is going to happen? If Tottenham, for what I'm hearing, everything's going to plan, Tottenham will be bought out, we think, by the Qataris, for what I'm hearing. Does that leave Daniel Levy in a role that they're going to say, right, we're going to remove you as chairman and put you in as, say, an advisory? And how difficult do you think Joe Lewis's people that are looking after his shares, they're going to want the optimum price? So do you think the Qataris will say to Joe Lewis's side, Enoch's side of it, right, we're going to give you an offer you can't refuse? Do you think that could be something that they'll get an offer, right, we can't turn this down?
Here's the thing. Tottenham are in a unique position that at the moment, Manchester United are not in the market. Liverpool are not in the market. And if Tottenham's to get sold, they want to do it before either of those two clubs come onto the market, because it's going to draw attention away from them. And you asked, what would you do with Daniel Levy? And despite what a lot of Tottenham fans would say about him, in terms of harvesting money and getting money into the books, he is brilliant at it. So if there's a way a new ownership could take him away from the chair, away from the power that he's got at the moment, and into a role where he's just drawing money in by way of, I suppose, these gigs and all this other malarkey that football fans don't care about. But let's be fair about it. It's very important to the club because it probably underpins its ability to compete in the market, to compete in various aspects of being a football club if you've got a solid income. So if there's a way they can kind of say, look, sure, keep your whatever percentage that he's got, and we'll scale you down over the next 5 years, which is you're going to be this person that deals with sponsorship and whatever you want to call it that generates money, then that's probably a good deal for Tottenham. He's going to be kept away from doing transfers, which in a way, you probably want him handling the sales of your players because he's pretty good at that too.
No, I don't want him handling anything. I don't know why people get this narrative that some Tottenham fans will go, he's good at transfers. He's brutal at transfers. He can't even organise a recruitment team properly. I mean, our recruitment team under Paratici was second to none. You look at the recruit team we have under Lang and look at the players we've brought in. I'm sorry. So I can see nothing but goodness from this deal coming through. And look, a lot of it's on need to know. A lot of it's I'm only getting dribs and drabs. But what I'm being told is we should be very excited. And I did break it a couple of weeks ago. This takeover will happen, and it will happen. We could see big changes at Tottenham, and I think it's great because then we'll have people behind that will back us fully, and that's what we want. We want to win trophies.
Can I preface your sense of, I suppose, optimism? Because this time it was maybe a bit before this time last year, we were getting the same be very excited narrative because I suppose what was promised and what was delivered were two very different things in terms of Manchester United Football Club, because Ineos went in there and realised, hang on a second, this is a bigger crock of shite than we realised, and we've actually gotten worse, we've regressed. So there's always going to have to be a health warning with any new ownership, but I think that's probably something that's going to be with us for the next 3 months, talking about it up until the summer window.
Yeah.
But in terms of Spurs and the now, AZ Alkmaar is the one and only focus, I think.
No, I agree with you. I do agree with you 100%. But look, I'm very excited about what's happening and what's coming up, because it's going to be good for us. It's going to be good for Tottenham, and it's going to be great. I mean, David Clark puts in, Levy owns 19.8% of ENIC shares. Lewis owns 72% ENIC shares, but ENIC only owns just over 86%, which the Qataris will buy. So that will leave Levy with a 19.8 share of Tottenham, and the rest of 13% is owned by individual shareholder. I think the Qataris will get the 86 plus the 13%. Shares, and then that will leave Daniel Levy with only 19.8%. So I think that's what will happen. David's given a few score predictions here. Kev, he's got AZ Alkmaar 2, Spurs 2. He's gone for Bournemouth to beat us 2-1 on Sunday. He's gone for Chelsea to beat us 2-1. He's also got Spurs to win 4-0 against Southampton. David said, it's my opinion that Spurs are in line for a 20th Premier League games defeat this season, which is unforgivable. Yes, it is, and I agree with you, David. That's not good enough, and it's nowhere near good enough. Then David said, Spurs are an Academy Premier League team, which means trophies. I don't agree with that. I don't think we are an Academy Premier League team. I think we're better. I think we've just been decimated by injuries, and it's just caught us at the wrong time. Yes, other teams have had bad injuries as well, but I think we've just been hit worse than any other team. So, David, I respect your opinion, but I don't agree with it. Kev, let's go through the lineup that I've picked. Let's start with AZ Alkmaar first. This is their lineup. Do you want to read that down lineup for us there?
Yeah, I'll just put this up on the big screen so I can see it better. So there's a few players that will ring a bell, namely the striker, Mr. Parrott. I think
I want to talk about him in a minute now.
But in goal, we have Jaden, and then we have Wolf, Penetta, Goes, and Makuwema, Classy and Cooper Means, Ledo, Burmeister, Puku, and of course Troy of the Parrots. But I have a little bit of a blurb that I also picked up for you. So Mertens will have a few key players either out of the contest or in considerable doubt for this one. Key attacking midfielder Ben Meijens is undoubtedly ruled out, which is a massive blow for the Jut side ahead of this critical clash. Jaden Adil will also miss out, while Mex Murdick, Ruben van Brammel, and Sam Westerveld are all significant doubts, although there will be a late assessment to determine their participation in the upcoming clash. Mertens will continue with his 4-2-3-1 shape, bit of a Christmas tree looking thing, but anyway, each to their own. With Wouter Goes and Alexandra Pentra stationed in central defensive pairing, while Senya Makuka and David Muller-Wolf feature in the fullback roles. Pierre Coupermines and Jordi Klaas are likely starters in the central midfield berth, with Zuko Burmeister featuring in the attacking mid role. Ernest Puku and my apologies, I clicked forward by accident. In the wide roles in the third, and then former Tottenham man Troy Parrott leading line for AZ Alkmaar. And then just a few key stats for you. AZ Alkmaar have won 6 of the last 8 games across all competitions. They have won 10 of the last 11 at home in all competitions. They have won only 2 of their last 19 meetings with English sides. Tottenham have won 3 of the last 4 games across all competitions, and Tottenham have won 7 of the last 11 in major European competition against Dutch side.
We've got a very good record. I think we've got a 50% win record against Dutch sides, actually. But that is the AZ Alkmaar are not going to be an easy side. Troy Parrott. Let's talk about Bet Parrott. Is he the biggest danger? I think him and Koopmeiners, I think them two for me are the 2 danger men for me. Troy Parrott's he's been pulling up trees in Holland since he moved down. I think it was a great move for him as well. And also Koopmeiners as well. He's been playing very well this season for AZ Alkmaar. How much of a danger man do you think there will be for Spurs tomorrow?
Well, when you factor in the likely, I suppose, configuration of your back line, Troy will know a lot of the personnel. Now, obviously, the new lads he won't, but he'll know a lot of the personnel. He'll know a lot of the way they communicate. And I suppose he's a man that kind of was, I suppose, ignored by Irish football along with Tottenham. Because he I suppose, didn't kind of develop in the way that they thought. Playing for a Premier League club is a lot of pressure. He went down the leagues and kind of caught the eye of a Dutch side, and he said, "You know what? Now let's try it." And he's been playing well for them, and I think he'll probably fancy himself as trying to maybe at least get a significant chance to score a goal. But I think the overall quality of the Spurs side still should be, I suppose, a bit. It'll make creating chances for them difficult.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think. Look, I like Troy Parrott. He didn't do well at Tottenham because I think he got hooked up in the wrong crowd. Let's be honest. And we know about who the crowd he got hooked up with. So, I think he got a big too beat for his boots. I think he's been given a second opportunity at Holland, and I think he's now realizing, right, I got to grab this. If I want to make any sort of career out of myself, I got to grab this with both hands. And I think that bodes well for us national side as well. If he's playing well, then it's going to be very hard to ignore international level as well, which I do feel he can do it. I still think he can perform at that level, but he's just got to concentrate on his football. Right. Well, that's enough about Troy Parrott. Let's go through the Spurs lineup. And of course, we're going to start with the one and only Mr. Vicario in goal. He's made 2 appearances already this season in the Europa League. And then we will go across the back 4. We've got Oporo. He's made 6 appearances already for Tottenham this season in the back 4. Now, the other centre-back who I've picked, now, this is going to be, he is back from injury. And it was either start one or the other. I decided to start one of them, and it is Cristiano Romero. He's made 1 appearance this season, but he's already been called up to the Argentinian squad for the international friendlies. Now, I love Romero. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a baller. Every time he makes a tackle, back in the day, people can remember you've been tangoed. I could say you've been Romero'd when he goes in there with a good tackle. I think he could have given this international, games a miss. I think he could have said, do you know what, Argentina, thank you for picking me, but I think I'm going to stay at Spurs, get myself really fit for the end of this season, and then I'll come to you then in the next round if that's okay. But I don't think him picking the country before club, I just don't like that. And maybe I'm wrong. A lot of people don't have a problem with it. I do, because I think he owes us. I think Romero owes us, and whatever of the debacle of starting him against Chelsea and coming off injured, rightly or wrongly, I think he should think about Tottenham this international break and stay with Spurs. I don't know if you have a different opinion on it, Kev, but that's my opinion on Romero. I think he should put club first.
I'm going to put on my devil's hat for a second.
Yeah.
And play and throw the spanner into the works. If you remember, there was an incident with the Brazilian national side a couple of seasons ago, where certain players weren't released or weren't allowed to travel for a variety of reasons. Right said Fred being one of them, and there was a couple of City players, and I can't remember who else was involved in it. And because they weren't made available to their international sides by their clubs, they were prevented from playing a following league game. And they were sat down. So I think in terms of if he's fit, I'm not sure there's a right of refusal per se, unless there's kind of a medical concern that's expressed that they're saying, look, listen, he's only back. We're treating him with kid gloves, and we strongly advise that he doesn't take this on. And then it's at the discretion of the country then to decide, I think, whether or not they will abide by the club's wishes. So I don't think there's a lot of controlling Romero's wishes and to an extent the club's wishes here, because I think there is precedent where FIFA have come down hard on clubs and forced them to sit out the players because of the fact that they didn't let them play international duty.
I see. I don't agree with that, because I don't agree with you. What you say does make sense, but I don't agree with FIFA putting this rule out that you have to play for an international side. He's just coming back from a long injury. Now, he could go away, and a lot of other arguments, he's getting game time, which benefits us. Yeah, that's true. It does. But what happens if he gets injured again? What happens if he picks up another injury while the international duty? Then what good is he to us then for the rest of the season? So I think I think Argentina needs to reconsider picking Romero. I think they should have left him out for this international break. But look, he's a proud Argentinian. He wants to play for his national side. So you can't stop him, can you? But I just don't agree with it. I think he owes us more. He owes Argentina. I think he hasn't been playing well this season either. And also, I've got what Ange said in the press conference as well. That's coming up later, guys. But do you want to go briefly what he said there? So I will be bringing it up more in depth later on, but I'll just give you a bit more in depth what he said.
Basically, in this article, they're saying never. The Aussies has stressed he'll never stand in the way of a player representing their country. So just kind of clicking down to the direct comments, he says, at the end of the day, if he's fit, then him getting some games is good for us because he missed a lot of football. We can't dictate to players whether they should go with their national teams or not. I never have, and that's been my view my whole career, and I won't stop now.
Yeah. Look, I get it. I get it, but I think the player should take it upon himself and think, I need to put the club first here. I do think that. And look, it's my opinion, and I'm very strong on that. But he does start tomorrow night for me. I think you have to start him. And you're also going to start him with this player making his Europa League debut for Tottenham Hotspur. It is Danso. What have you thought of Danso this season, Kev? I thought since he's come in, I really like him. He's a no-type defender. He's a no-type centre-back. But I think he's good with the ball. He's good with his feet. He doesn't let you down. Now, we complained about him, Man City. He had an awful first half. But he certainly made up for that in that second half. He is a no-type centre-back, isn't he? So, what do you expect from Danso? I do have Danso in the Tottenham shirt for the next predicted lineup, by the way. So, this will be the last time you see him in the Southampton shirt. It's the only one I could find, actually, funnily enough. Premier League haven't updated their website with the players yet, which is absolutely ridiculous. But Danso, do you like him?
I would be curious to see what he'd be like against with a proper, I suppose, long in the two centre back. Like, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
that Archie won't become that if Tottenham choose to keep developing him as a centre back, because maybe he might have shown a little bit of spark, and they might say, okay, let's take a look at keeping him in that position. But obviously, it is difficult with Spurs having to kind of have a makeshift back four. But in the first half, I thought he was poor, but in the second half, like you can definitely see there's an intelligence about the man that he's able to read the football pitch, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing more over a prolonged period, because I think that was my first time actually properly sitting down to watch him was when we did the watch along the last day. So I'd take great interest in watching him with the likes of Romero or any other of the Tottenham's regular centre backs and seeing how he develops. But that's not to take away from Archie Gray, because I would be curious to see what Spurs do with him now after playing him in that role for quite a bit of the season.
Yeah. No, I like Danso, and I can't wait to see him play tomorrow night. I really like him. I think he's a good defender. I think he's a no-type defender, which sometimes you need. So big up Danso. And then the round out the back four, I've started with Jed Spence as well, making his debut also in the Europa League. I think this has got to be the comeback story of the season, in my opinion. I think he's somebody said to me tonight that he's got one of the leading stats for ball playing out of defense in the whole of Europe. Jed Spence, what have you make of Jed Spence sort of rise from the ashes sort of thing from Conte and the start of Ange's tenure, that Ange sort of ignored him, sent him out on loan. What have you made of his remarkable rise from nowhere to now a starting choice at fullback? I think it's brilliant. I think this lad's got bags of talent, and I think he's going to be a Tottenham fullback for years to come. I really do, and I love the way he plays. What's your thoughts on Jed Spence?
Well, we saw something similar with Ahmed Diallo at Manchester United. He was kind of cast aside by previous managers and wasn't really thought highly of by them. And he was given an opportunity to come back in and probably last chance saloon in one case to say, I belong here.
Yeah.
And he's kind of said to himself, you know what, now we're going to make a go of this. We're going to show the fans what I'm capable of. We're going to show the manager what I'm capable of. And I'm going to make myself indispensable. And let's be fair, when he came on the last day, he improved on dramatically in terms of the way that he contributed to the Tottenham attack, the way that he kind of made a nuisance of himself for the City players. So, again, I suppose I'm kind of coming in with fairly fresh eyes into watching Spurs at this level of detail. But I thought it was quite clear that he should have started based on his performance in the second half of the last game we watched.
And also scored a good goal against Ipswich as well, by the way. That was, I know it got a deflection, but it was a good. I'm really pleased for Jed Spence this season. I think Jed Spence has been absolutely outstanding. So I'm really, really pleased for Jed Spence. So big up to Jed Spence. He starts. And now my midfield three, I've gone for Bergville, 8 appearances and to a sub. Another young player that's come in this season who's got more game time than he probably would have got if everyone had stayed fit. For me, but Philip Brady raved about this player before we got him. He said this is the next sort of Graham Roberts type, Glenn Hoddle type player. I think he's really improved as the season's gone on. I think he's going to become a mainstayer in our Tottenham midfield. What have you made of Bergfield this season? Do you like him? If you had a chance to get Man United, would you buy him?
Well, based on the players that are currently playing for us in the wide positions, we could definitely do with a Bergville, because we've got like 2 players that are fit at the moment in the positions that he's playing. So he's definitely somebody that I would consider going for. I think he's under 20, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
19 years of age, so he's at 20 until next February. So he's only barely 19, which is absolutely crazy. He's kind of got a Kobe Manu type aura about him in terms of he kind of didn't get afraid of the big occasion and kind of said, "Do you know what? Now I belong here. I'll show them that I can take on this sort of extra responsibility." Now, obviously, Kobe's second season has been a bit more difficult for him, but I think very impressive young midfielder, 6'2", so an absolute good size as well. So you're not going to be kind of worried about a height disadvantage against most players. And Swedes tend to have had good runs in the Premier League. So
no. I agree with you. I agree with you. I think he's been brilliant. I have really been impressed with him, and I think it's great. I've also gone, of course, with the Uruguayan general. I'm main man. The man who I think really complements our midfield, who's there to calm things down. When Bentancur's in that midfield tree, he calms it down. He just steps back and he just says, "Right, lads, leave it to me." And he hasn't had the best of seasons. He's had a lot of injuries, but I think he's getting back to his best now. Bentancur, what have you made of his season so far? He has had injuries, but do you think we're seeing the best of him now? And we raved about him against Man City, by the way. We both did. Do you think that's what Tottenham need in their midfield? That type of player that can put a tackle in and put a foot in or sort of make himself a nuisance. And I think Bentancur does that to a big degree, to be fair to him.
I tell you what I'd love if he was sitting next to Ugarte in the United team, because he's a monster. Let's be fair about it. Like he came along in that City game and he put in the punts up the keister when they were needed to be, because Spurs were kind of sitting on the ropes. The City were punching and punching and punching, and only because of the Carragher performance weren't actually taking, I suppose, blows that were going to put you on the canvas. And he saw this, he read this, and he kind of went in and he made challenges that caused him to get booked. And then in the second half, early doors, he made that second challenge, which ultimately led to him being hooked, because, let's be fair, he was going to end up having to make a challenge that would have got him that second yellow if he stayed on the pitch. And I suppose when you're a player that's looking for encouragement or kind of something to kind of G you up, the younger players will be looking to Bentancur to kind of pick them up and kind of say, right, this is what we need you to do. I want you focused on this. I'm going to handle whatever he's tasked with. And you can't fault the man. Like he's a captain without a captain's armband.
He is. He is. That's why I call him the Uruguayan general, because he is. He's that general in that midfield that really makes things, and he calms things down as well. He's very calm on the ball. He doesn't get flustered. He's very calm. He's very calculated. He thinks about, he knows what he's going to do 2 moves ahead, if you know what I mean. And that's why I love him in the midfield. And around that midfield, I've played Bergville and Bentancur as both as probably a 6 and an 8. I probably play Bentancur in front of the back 4 and then put Bergville as an 8. Now, for my number 10, I have picked James Maddison. He's made 6 appearances this year in the Europa League, 2 as subs, and he scored 1 goal. James Maddison, for me, look, he's a very frustrating player. When he plays well, he's undroppable. Like against Man City, he's undroppable. If you see him against Leicester or you see him against Man City, he was captain. He didn't lead by example. And if he wants to get back into the England squad and represent England again under Tuchel, he's now got to start putting in performances to turn the England manager's head and say, right, you're my man. I'm going to build this England team around you. You're the main focus here. So as much as I love James Maddison, he is so frustrating. What do you make of James Maddison? What do you think his biggest drawback is as a camera? Where do you think his fault is? Is it Is it his attitude? Is it his ability? Is it that he thinks he's too good for certain games? Where do you put it down to? Because some games against Man City, Man United, he's unplayable. But you go against Leicester or Crystal Palace or teams like that, he plays absolutely shite. What do you put it down to?
I think it's in a way it could be mentality and
Mm.
focus in that you're kind of going, like, to use the old Fergie phrase, it's only Spurs back in the day, because
Yeah.
he had, and the reason he used to say only Spurs was not because they were a bad team, but because mentally he had Spurs in a certain box that they could never really rest in their laurels. Because if you remember, he overturned it. Was it a 3-goal deficit in one game?
Yeah.
Simply because mentally something happened in the Spurs psyche that caused him to switch off. James Maddison, I think, has a similar switch in his head, in that when he's looking at your Liverpools, your Arsenals, your whatevers, he's switched on, he's clued in, he's usually ready for them. Now, obviously, he had a poor enough game against City the last day, but for whatever reason, maybe he doesn't mentally attune himself to playing the Leicester games. But I am going to throw a stat at you. His best seasons at Leicester, he had 20 goal scoring contributions and 19 goal scoring contributions in his best seasons. This season, he's already at 14. So he's on course to have more goal contributions with Spurs this season than he's had in his entire career in any single season.
It's because it doesn't look like he's playing that well. And he has been injured himself. So does that play a factor in it? Injuries does play. Look, I know there's people in the chat. I will get back to the chat in a minute. I just want to go through this lineup and give you the best sort of reasons why we've picked this lineup. Look, for me, Maddison, I think injuries does play a part in it, Kev. I really do. But look, he's a man that could turn it around tomorrow night. You look at that pass he did against what was it, against Galatasaray? He put Kulu through, and Kulu scored early in the campaign, the European campaign. Look at the goal he scored against Man City. That lovely one-touch ball. It's in our intro. That's why I asked Colin to put it in there. It's one of my favourite goals this season. But yeah, I do love Maddison. I must admit, I do have a sort of secret. I do like him a bit. He's one of my players I do like watching. When he was at Leicester, I always wanted him at Spurs, but now he's here. He needs to do more, but he's not captain material. I am telling you that now. Nowhere near. Now, front three. Now we were quite amazed by the front three against Man City. I did go through it on Big Up, probably badly. Next, I'm gonna do one of them tactical shows. I need you with me, Kev. I need you with me. I need you with me because I made an absolute hair's mare of it. It wasn't great, but people did watch. Believe it or not, I don't know why, but they did. But big up. Before we get into the top three, guys, we got a bit of housekeeping to do. The barcode above there on Column's head, is to our big up channel, Matchday Magic. Do get over there, hit the subscription, hit the follow button up there. We'd have a post tactical show on Friday. Now I may move that to Sunday, because I may get both games in. I may get the Bournemouth and the AZ Alkmaar game into one stream, because Kevin will be with me on Sunday. So maybe I move it to then anyway. I may do that. But do join us over there. We're looking to grow. That's our second channel now. The THFC Sports channel is now gone. It's been defunct. It's been deleted. It's gone. So the Matchday Magic is our second channel. So hit that QR code. Also, guys, if you can, our channel is sponsored by Private Internet Access, the best VPN around. And here to give you a little bit of a talk about it is our resident Cork Academy Award winning actor, who starred in many great films as Pinky Went to the Moon. He was a starring role in that. He was even up for a James Bond film. called I Was Never Once James Bond. That was a great film. What other films was he in? This cork actor of
He
Colin
did get
O'Connor.
he did get his start in Glenroe. He was Pinky Connors.
He was, yeah. He was in Glenroe. A very big. If anyone what Glenroe is a bit like your EastEnders, but it was for us in the 70s and 80s. What other film did he star in? He did one recently, didn't he? What one was it called again?
Oh, how to lose your sanity in 10 easy steps, a Manchester United fan's guide.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Killian O'Connor, thank you very much. He did this for free, guys. He was brilliant. He actually wasn't brilliant. Here's Killian O'Connor with why you do have to get access into private internet access because it is the best around. Listen to this.
Let me talk to you. A little reference there, but I'm going to stop messing about. I'm going to talk to you about private internet access, the best VPN in the land. Now, when you're online, you may not realize, but all of your data is there for the taking by anybody. With a VPN such as private internet access, your data is safe and secure, streamlined, and nobody else can get hold of it. That's why I use one anyway. VPN's very easy to use. Private internet access, all you got to do is log on your phone, select where you want to be. So I want to be in America, and I click go, and there we are. You can also link up your devices to it from your phone if that is easier for you. It's available on a lot of platforms as well. As you can see, and you can use it for a very, very big range of things. So that's even better as well. You can use it, like I said, on all your devices, smartphone, tablets, gaming consoles, and stick it on your modem. And it's unlimited devices. One equals all. It's available all across the world, and it works perfectly. What they do is they mask your IP address, so pesky 3 o'clock kickoffs aren't an issue anymore, and they're independently audited, so there's no logs, 30 million customers, and 4.5-star Trustpilot rated excellent review. Private internet access. Get yours now.
There you go. It is €45 for 2 years plus 4 months free. And as Kev is now standing by a brick wall, looking to be picked up. Things can't be that bad, Kevin. Things can't be that bad. You have to go out and do certain things. They can't be that bad, can it?
Well, our backs are to the wall now, literally. But I did hear Mr. O'Connor is currently undergoing a hair transplant. He's having it grafted from his behind, a la Wayne Rooney, and this is what he's going to look like afterwards.
Yeah, that is Mr. O'Connor's new look. If you are watching Colin, that had nothing to do with me. I did not know Kev was going to do that, so all blame goes to him. I had nothing to do with it. On that bombshell, let's crack on. Now we're going to start with the front tree, and of course, I've picked my man, the best. Well, I think he's a good winger. Though if you get past somebody and cross a ball, it would be better. But anyone there poaching at the back post, this is your man. It is Brendan Johnson. He scored 6 appearances, 2 subs, and he's 3 goals already this season in the Europa League. And then we also gone for a front tree. We're going to discuss the front tree as a whole, Kev. So we'll get through it. We've got Sonny down the middle, 6 appearances, 3 goals. And we've got Odegaard making another start, 1 appearance and 1 as sub. What do you think to that front three, Kev? Are you happy with that, or would you change it still?
Well, as you know, with Johnson, I think there's a consistency thing at the moment with him, but that could iron out as he develops into his skin as a player. Odegaard, again, he was someone that until the last day I hadn't watched too much about, and there was times I saw kind of glimpses of like there's something about this young fella, but I suppose I've only seen that game really of him playing for any prolonged period, and at the start, obviously, the whole Tottenham attack was toothless, so you can't really blame him for his lack of activity then, but he definitely created a few chances in that second half. And if players finished their dinner, he might have even had an assist or 2. So definitely impressed by him. But here's the curious one for me. There's a young man by the name of Mikey Moore. He plays in behind the striker. And for some reason, at the moment, I think your best attack would be him, Kula, and Son at the point of the attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Obert. I do like him.
Yeah. Now, I've just got some news here. It came up on my news feed. Now, this is not from my source. I have actually sent this to my source. So I want to talk about this very quickly before we end. Look, for me, I agree with you with Johnson. I think he needs to do more. I think Johnson there as a player, it's very difficult to be a poacher. That's a skill within itself. Being there at the right time, the right place, to bang in the goal. I get it. So I would play Sonny and Odegaard on the wing and put Johnson down the middle. He did play there as a striker for Nottingham Forest as well. So he has played that role. He needs to beef up. But if Solanke is fit tomorrow, because we have seen Solanke, Van der Ven all training, and Romero training. So my question to you is, do you start with Solanke up front if he's anywhere near fit enough?
Sorry, I had my mute button on there for a second. I had to fix it.
That's
but
okay.
If Solanke is fit, he's got the frame, he's got the physicality that it would allow you to play only one then of Johnson or Odebert along with Sonny. So I think you probably have to kind of utilize his bulk, his strength, and that gives Sonny a bit more freedom then in terms of the way he can play, because he'll have a bigger target man, I suppose, to get the ball in. And let's be fair, I don't think Solanke loses a lot of ball when he goes to his feet, does he?
No. So I was just reading something on the other screen. I'm just absolutely gobsmacked by the numbers I'm seeing. Look, for me, I would start Solanke. If there's any sort of, if you have a certain that he's going to be okay, start him, because we have missed him. We have missed Solanke up front. But do you rest him tomorrow night and put him in against Bournemouth on Saturday? The Premier League is just as important as the Europa League, because the way I look at it is this, right? This is my view on it. That say if Newcastle win the Europa League, win the League Cup, right? That opens up a next Europa League spot in the league. Say Manchester City win the FA Cup and they've already qualified for the Europa League or the Champions League. That opens up an extra Europa League spot. Also, if fifth place is given to the Premier League, which more likely it will be, whoever finishes fifth will go into the Champions League. So if you're looking at the top, was it the top 7 or was it the top 8 get Europe?
So if you're saying that the top,
is it the top 8? Is it 1 to 8 that go into Europe, or 1 to 7?
So at the moment it's 1 to 5 plus number 6. Then it's Europa League with 2 going to the cups. But if the 2 going to it's 2 cup winners fall back to the league, that brings you down to 7th place in terms of.
Well, no, hang on a minute. Hang on, you got 5 Champions League.
Well,
you got
at the
6,
moment,
7 in the Europa League. 8th is Conference League.
No, well, it's only 6th at the moment would be Europa League in that situation, because there's 2 the cup. There's 2 Europa League places. Oh no, it's a Conference League place in the League Cup, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's 2 in the league. So that would bring you down to 8th for Europa League potentially, and 9th being the Conference Cup.
Yeah. So if you're looking at it now, right? Say Liverpool win the League Cup, so that opens up an extra Conference League spot, because Liverpool are going to qualify for the Champions League. So you're looking at, well, it's 6 places at the moment. So Newcastle are in the Conference League place at the moment. So you're looking at that drops down to 7th, right?
Yeah.
Then say if Chelsea, if England if the Premier League get the 5th, so that becomes a Champions League place. Europa League then goes into 6th, and then the Conference League goes in the 7th. If Tottenham, I'm just saying this, but if Tottenham could finish in the top 10, do you know what I mean? If we have a good end to the season and finish 10th or 9th, we could be in Europe we could be in the Conference League next season.
Yeah, that's the mad thing about it. 9th could actually get you European football. And you are, and United and ye are only 9 points behind us.
Yeah. And we've got to play Bournemouth on Sunday. If we beat Bournemouth on Sunday, then that's 3 points we've gained on Bournemouth. Now, if Palace lose, that brings us level with Palace. And then that's, Villa, they're still in the Champions League. Are they going to take their eye off the ball a little bit? They still reckon they can get Champions League football. I mean, Man City are 47 and Villa are 42. It's very tight between 13th, I think. So from there, we're 10 points behind Bournemouth. 11, 13, 14. Well, 14 points behind Man City. Now, I'm not saying we're getting top 4, but we could get 9th, 10th or 9th. That could give you European football next season.
There's one thing that you haven't considered, Dermot. Again, this is all speculation. Chelsea will more than likely creep into top 4 because I think the end of the season is going to be tough on Forest.
Yeah.
Once those games catch up on them. And maybe Forest cap out at, 60 points. That could could Tottenham gain 27 points in their last, 11 league games?
Yeah, could do. Could do.
So, could you be in or around a situation where you're up to 5th, 6th?
Yeah. It could. It's been a mad season, so anything is possible. I mean, we're now 11 games to the end of the season.
Yep.
If we could end the season like we started last season, who knows what can happen? I mean, Tottenham at the moment, we've only had 2 defeats in the last 5 games. We've had 2 wins, a draw, and 2 defeats. 2 defeats in the last 5, 3 wins and 2 defeats. I can't see why we can't. I really can't. I think we could. I think we could get 9th and get Conference League. I know a lot of people in the chat probably don't think I'm right on that, but personally, I think that could happen. Big up to David Moore. Said Dave Moore is not just ready for this level, and we're bringing this down too early. Look, if you're young enough and you're good enough, in my view, then you play. Simple as that. It is really simple. You have to use his skill in the right system, and his joke system just doesn't help him. At Leicester, he had the best DM in the Premier League, and he did. And 2 class box, he did have good help around him, to be fair, with Madison. Big up to Normality Channel with Riley Taylor. WSL update. Man City have dropped points away to West Ham tonight. 1-1 the final score. Chelsea is leading Leicester 2-1 in Kings Meadow. A few of these here. David Clark says, in my opinion, Romero is a complete fraud. He's back fit again, just as an international game is upcoming. I don't believe in coincidence, especially 3 times on the trot. Sell this flawed. Yeah, David's been quiet. And David, I agree with you. I think he could have knocked this one on the head myself, but that's him. This is David's team, Kev. He's gone for Vicario and goal. He's gone for Spence, Stanson, Gray, Udogi in the back 4, Bentacle, Bergfield, Madison in the midfield 3, Johnson, Scarlett, and Son as a forward line. What would you give that out of 10?
Well, let's be fair about it. I think he's right to probably include Gray because he probably hasn't done anything to deserve being dropped. If Romero's not deemed to be fully fit, I can see the logic in it. Scarlett, I'm going to have to defer to you on as to whether or not he's been playing at a level that he deserves inclusion in the starting lineup. I haven't seen enough of them to make that determination, but I think that's as close to your best available lineup as you can probably pitch, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I look. I wouldn't start Scarlett. I would put Sonny, or I would put Solanke if he's fit in that front tree. But look, the rest of the team, I agree with you. Archie Gray hasn't done anything to be dropped, but I think he needs resting. I really do. So I think give him a rest, play him in the national position where he's supposed to play. But the rest of it, I can't agree with. I think it's spot on. This is the last bit of news we've got. I just found this. Let me take that off in the background.
Just before you go on to that, so there is some more updates from the Champions League. It is now Bayern Munich 2. Musiala scored the second goal, and Leverkusen had a player sent off, Mudikeli, for a second yellow. Barcelona, through Rafinha, have taken the lead. It's 1-0 there. And currently, it is the team that are allergic to winning knockout Champions League games, PSG 0, versus those awful red people from Liverpool 0.
Right. Do you want to read what's on the screen now? I just need to send this to our source. I know you probably won't get back to me to the morning, but hang on. That is wrong. Right. I need to do that. Basically, it is Daniel Levy has an A-grade takeover, Tottenham takeover problem as Amanda Staveley and Qataris mull a 3.75 billion deal. Do you think that's enough to tempt Levy to sell?
Well, 3.75 billion is quite a considerable amount. Now, that could be tempered against the fact that I think is it 30% of Manchester United was 1 point something billion.
Yeah.
So if you're saying that Manchester United, doing some quick math, is 1, 2, 3, 4, is worth about 6 billion based on that, Daniel Levy will probably be going, well, we're probably going to get to 4.5, 5 if United is worth no, I think at 6 billion we're not worth that. No. But the reality of a takeover is it's always going to have an inflation tax built in. I don't think you get done at 3.75. Now, it all depends really on the principal partner. They might just kind of say, do you know what, Levy at 19% of a shareholding is not going to be a problem for us. If they do a deal with Inco and they get, what is it, then 80% of the club roughly between Inco and all the other smaller shareholders, they can basically just completely marginalize Levy. So at 80% of the club, maybe that could be where the 3.75 is coming in.
I think so. I agree with you on that. I think that's where. Big up to Brenny as well. Big up Brenny coming in at the end there, bringing up the rear. Big up Brenny, the only Arsenal fan as well as Bobby I do respect. So big up to you, Brenny. Hope you're doing a legend in his own right. But that is it, guys. That is your match day build up. This is your pre-match thoughts. Me, Dermot, aka Dermatron, and Kev, aka the Rolling Rat. So I hope you don't mind me giving you that nickname, by the way. I have to come up with a good nickname for you now. We've got Killian O'Connor for Colin. We'll come up with something. Anyway, the court president.
I used to wear a jersey when I used to play five-a-side football. It was Kevin Ravioli.
There we go. We have Kevin Ravioli. There we go. We do that. Guys, thank you all for watching. We are back tomorrow, of course, with your match day stuff. We're on at 5:15 with a match day build up. I think you're joining me a little bit later tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, no, I
quite
just
shocked
bring that
by
up.
that.
Like, Slot is getting battered.
He's getting battered everywhere he goes.
I think you might be donating that song to them. The way they're going.
Yeah. Slotty gets battered everywhere he goes. Big up to David Clark. Big up you. You've been really good in the chat tonight, David. Yeah, you're joining me a bit later. We do have somebody else joining me for the pre-match, before the pre-match, getting the thoughts on the lineup, the games, and then we've got final score afterwards as well, guys. And then on Friday, we've got all the build-up, of course, to the game. We've got Friday, we have Big Up as well. We'll go through the tactics side of it on Big Up. On Saturday, we've got the pre-match show, of course, pre-match thoughts, where I'll go over the doing like this, what we've done tonight. And then Sunday, we have final. We've got the watch along, we've got final scores, and then at 8 o'clock on Sunday evening, hopefully Kev can join me then. We have the tactics show. We're going to go over the tactics, over the game over and Big Up as well. So please join us for that. Kev, where can people find you, sir, as well?
Just to let people know, the Tottenham game will be on TNT Sports 3 tomorrow for those of you that are availing of premium sports subscriptions. But where you can find me is Kerry_Rebel on the Twitter. You can find me here on the Tottenham channel. And once me and Mr. Killian O'Connor get our acting gear, you'll also find us doing a bit of Spotlight and Big Up and just general sport with Dermo and the gang.
Yeah, do so. We're on the march for 3K. Guys, thank you so much indeed. Join us tomorrow at 5:15 for all your build-up, then the watch-along, and then final score afterwards. Me and the man next to me will be bringing you all the live shows, of course, on a Wednesday and a Thursday and a Sunday as well. Boys, joining me for St. Patrick's Day for a little bit of an Irish show special where we're going to talk everything. Well, we're going to have a bit of fun. We're going to have a bit of fun as we normally do in St. Patrick's Night. And what we're going to do, we normally bring this up. I used to bring it up with Mr. Brady. And it is a video of the Gardaí raiding a potchine for Ireland back in the 80s. But we don't show the sound. We put our own take on it. So we take whatever's in the news and we add it to this little bit of what we're showing. So we do it every year. Me and Philip have done it for the last 2 years. We are going to do it again this year. Kev will be joining us. It will be related to Manchester United and Tottenham. So it's going to be a bit of fun. There's a bit of a comedy sketch. We're going to have a bit of fun. We're going to go through also, we're going to talk about our favourite Irish players as well for Manchester United and Tottenham. And also we're going to try to put together a united Tottenham Irish 11. So that will be going. That will be on St. Patrick's Night, guys. A bit of fun for you guys on the 17th of March. So look, we always do something every year for St. Patrick's Night. I tried to sit down with Colin to do a special intro as well for St. Patrick's Night as well. So guys, whatever you do, join us tomorrow at 5:15. Come on, you Spurs. In Big Ange we trust. We never stop. We will get there. And Kev, do you want to take us out? It's now your job to take out this show in your own unique way.
We're here, we're there, we're everybody where, and a very good night to you.
I love that. Come on, you Spurs.